This lesson is on the advantages and disadvantages of globalization. Globalization is the process by which economies become more interdependent, linked, and integrated. It has a lot of merits and demerits. We are going to consider a few of them. Advantages of globalization. Due to businesses' ability to sell to a worldwide market, globalization expands the market size. As a result, the output rises and the manufacturing cost per unit decreases. Low unit costs ensure that companies make a lot of profit and can expand their operations. There is an increase in demand for goods and services because companies may sell overseas. Sales revenue of companies will increase. Increased export sales bring in more tax revenue for the government, which it may utilize to fund the construction of infrastructure. One of the factors that promote a nation's technological advancement is the ease of mobility of productive resources. Foreign direct investment has the potential to spread knowledge from one nation to another. In addition, multinational corporations fund workers training in science and technology in their host nations, some of which may be developing nations. Moreover, businesses in countries with higher levels of development often enter into agreements with companies in economies with lower levels of development. These agreements may include things like technical support and permission to use the former's better technology. There is a wide range of items available to consumers from across the globe. As a result, they have access to more items to meet their varied needs. This increases their standard of living. Globalization opens up economies and allows foreign manufacturers to compete with indigenous companies. Because of the rivalry, resource efficiency is increased as businesses focus on their areas of expertise. When there are no barriers, there is an increase in the supply of commodities in the domestic sector, which lowers prices. By increasing consumer surplus, lower prices enhance consumer welfare. Disadvantages of globalization. Number 1. It is unfair. The wealthier economies have benefited from free trade, while less developed nations have suffered. The prices at which industrialized economies sell their goods are greater than those of emerging nations. Therefore, the industrialized nations enjoy more advantageous trade conditions. This is due to the fact that developed economies export manufactured items that are income elastic, whereas developing nations mostly export primary goods that are income inelastic. The number of unemployed people will increase as a result of some local businesses closing because they cannot compete with international ones. Free movement of capital and labor may also be harmful to some countries with less appealing economic environments. People's standard of living and income would decrease if they lose their jobs. Some countries have seen economic development as a result of their capacity to attract additional labor and foreign direct investment, while others have not made much progress. Some countries suffer from brain drain because their citizens leave for other countries and attract less investments. As a result, poverty rates have increased and governments in these countries are struggling to invest in infrastructural development. Globalization has greatly benefited several Asian nations as well as developed and industrialized nations. Nations are not immune to events occurring in other nations because of the substantial level of international integration. A bad thing that happens in one country can spread to others. For example, the US financial crisis that spread to other countries was the primary cause of the worldwide recession that started in 2008. This affected a large number of enterprises that had invested in inferior US-originated loans.